There are reports of a Russian troop build-up in the Ukrainian city of Kyiv, some 700 kilometers from the capital Kyiv. Several Indian students are stranded here and they are unable to book flights back home. Joining us now is Mohammed Sheikh Manan, a fifth-year medical student. Mohammed, thanks so much for joining us on this broadcast. My first question to you, how are you as of now? What has your day been like? Are you safe at this point of time?
At this point, quite safe, but actually the yesterday was very tough for all of us, and it was a very hard day as all the students. We were living not only in the hostel but in the apartment. So our universities asked all of us to come to the hostel and live together. So whatever the environment which we are seeing outside and the news is, it was so much panicking for all the students. So we came together in the hostel, and it was a very tough night for all of us.
Right. Now, yesterday, Mohammed, we heard about a martial law being imposed in Ukraine's capital, at least Kyiv. You, of course, are in a different city, as I understand. Tell us a little bit about the life in the city as of now, as it stands today. There are, of course, reports of more bombing from Russian troops. Have you witnessed anything so far? What kind of diktats or information has your university given about any kind of evacuation?
Yesterday night, we saw some troops, some military tools is being like walking on the roads, and we had some videos of that. We are not allowed to sleep all together, so we asked our one friend to wake up, like if anything happens, to hear the fire alarm at least while we are sleeping. So one person was wake up, and the others are sleeping at this other time. And today, our university gives like it is quite relaxing for now, but anything can happen at any time. But it's been said like, be safe, be in your apartment or hostel, don't go outside.
Right. Have you been in touch with anybody from the embassy about getting a flight back home, about any possible evacuation, or has your university given you any information about the same?
Yeah, we got the information from advisory, like our Indian government is planning to evacuate us through Hungary and some other countries like Romania and Moldova. But for going us towards the west, it's very far from our city. So it's not easy to go from our city to that places towards the border. So the main tension is like how we can travel up to the border. So that is what the issue for currently right now we have.
Right. What about getting access to ATMs, to easy cash, to groceries? We've been speaking to some other students also, medical students, especially Indian medical students who are studying in Ukraine as of now, and they've spoken about long queues outside grocery stores, outside ATMs. Are you also facing the same issues?
Yes, of course. It was like yesterday, we are in the line for maybe 2 hours. Like the same in demonetization, which we saw, the same like queues which we can see in our ATMs as well as in the supermarkets. We faced the same yesterday because every people wants to gather their food and take out the cash at least, because the Indian cards are not working in some ATMs over here. So that is also one of the problem which we are facing. Like, we have the money in our Indian cards, but we are unable to withdraw that money from them.
Right. Just a final question here, Mohammed. Of course, as we understand, the Indian embassy has issued an advisory. It was issued yesterday about finding bomb shelters in Ukraine, your nearest bomb shelters. We understand that Russia is continuing to launch bomb attacks on Ukraine. Have you been given any kind of information about safe houses or where to go in case of an attack, a further attack?
We have many bomb shelters nearby our places, but that bomb shelters is already been occupied. So for us, it is being advised like we can go to our basements. There we can have a safe shelter. Other than that, the bomb shelters are being already occupied with the locals.
Right. Mohammed, thank you so much for all those insights, and thanks for speaking to us. It is definitely a precarious situation for all of you, a dystopian one at that, where students have to scout for bomb shelters. Stay safe.
Just one request from the embassy and the government, like try us to evacuate as soon as possible and make us to go to the nearest border with the safety.
Definitely.
Because all the students which are here, we have the one concern, like going from our city to the borders is very far. Like it takes around 10 hours by the road. And while traveling to the road, it may be harmful, or maybe it can be anything happen on the way.
Right, definitely. I'm sure that the Indian government is looking out for all its nationals in Ukraine, and you at this point of time stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now let's get you some more perspective. The United States and Britain say that Russia is targeting the Ukrainian government. The Defence Minister Wallace confirmed that the United Kingdom's views stand as this, that Russia intends to invade the entire country of Ukraine and that Russia has not taken any of its major objectives seriously. Wallace also estimated that Russia has lost more than 450 personnel, while the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken told the media that America is convinced that Russia will try to overthrow the Ukrainian government. Blinken now predicts that Ukrainians will strongly resist Putin's effort to usurp their sovereignty. Listen in.
Part of the Russian plan has been to put Kyiv in danger, to assault the capital, to go after other major cities. We're seeing forces come in from the north, from the east, from the south, and that's all part of the plan that we've laid out for the world in recent weeks. One of the things that Vladimir Putin has done, starting back in 2014 when they first went into Ukraine, seizing Crimea, seizing a part of eastern Ukraine, is to totally alienate the Ukrainian people from Russia. Before 2014, actually, Russia was pretty popular in Ukraine. It had a 70% favorability rating. Right now, it's exactly the opposite, more than the opposite. 90% of Ukrainians now, if I can use the word, detest Russia and certainly detest President Putin. My prediction would be that one way or another, they will strongly resist any effort to take away their sovereignty, take away their independence, take away their government.
As tensions in Eastern Europe continue to escalate, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi held talks with the Russian President Vladimir Putin in an attempt to diffuse tensions between the two countries, that is, Ukraine and Russia. During the talks, Prime Minister Modi appealed for an immediate cessation of violence and called for concerted efforts from all sides to return to a path of diplomatic negotiations and dialogue. During the telephonic conversation, Prime Minister Modi reiterated his long-standing conviction that the differences between Russia and NATO can only be resolved through honest and sincere dialogue. Earlier, the Indian Foreign Ministry announced that around 15,000 Indians are still stuck in Ukraine. And during these talks between Prime Minister Modi and President Putin, Prime Minister Modi sensitized the Russian president about India's concerns regarding the safety of Indian citizens in Ukraine, especially students. He also conveyed that New Delhi attaches the highest priority to their safe exit and return to India. India is currently focusing on evacuating its stranded nationals as the airspace continues to remain closed in Ukraine. Meanwhile, the Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar also spoke to his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov on the situation in Ukraine, where India once again underlined that dialogue and diplomacy are the best way forward. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.